Okay everyone, that was season 6 episode 15 of Arrow, and holy crap, what an amazing episode. Such a step up from last week. I did not feel like it was just the last week I felt frustrated and annoyed during most of the episode, but this week I was just like, oh my gosh, everything is happening, it's so fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to recap the episode, give my likes, give my dislikes, any theories that I may have, and that's the way this is set up. At the beginning of the episode, Oliver was sitting in his office when Thea came in with that one lawyer that was representing him, and she was like, guess what? Your case could get dismissed. I mean, it should get dismissed because the source was tainted. Kate and James was obviously the source behind everything, so it should just get everything thrown out, and that's really good news. Up until the point whenever Quentin came in and was like, hey, so there's a problem at SCPD, and Oliver was like, of course something's wrong. So they go to SCPD and they ran immediately into Laurel, telling the press, multiple cameras, a whole bunch of, it was crazy, that she is Laurel Lance. She's been kidnapped for 2 years by Damien Dark and she escaped and all this stuff, and she knows who the Green Arrow is, which holds some leverage over Oliver, and her reunions with everybody was just, oh, so fantastic. Katie Cassidy killed it. The way she was like, Ollie, and then she saw her dad and she went, Dad, and just hugged them. But whenever we saw her hug them and then we saw her face just kind of like smirking, oh, she's just fantastic. I got out of my seat at a certain point, was like, yes, she's just too good. But right after that, we have Laurel, when they're in that interrogation room, whenever the cameras turned off, Laurel basically told us that the money that she stole is now gone, which kind of throws everything out the window. But the second that she announced that she was Laurel Lance, it kind of threw everything out the window. But right after that, we see Dinah find out that Laurel is claiming to be Laurel, and she's like, I am going to take this case. And I thought throughout the episode I was going to get annoyed with Dinah, because I've been annoyed with Dinah, Renee, and Curtis ever since last episode and previous episodes throughout the season. But for some reason, just the way that she was this episode, I wasn't that annoyed. Like, she didn't bother me at all. I did at one point go like, oh my god, seriously. Well, actually, there's a certain moment, which I'll talk a little bit about later, where I was kind of like, this is interesting. But anyway, right after that, Oliver, his lawyer, and the district attorney, I think that's who that was, who's opposing Oliver at the moment, goes into a judge's chambers, and they're holding a meeting, and Oliver's lawyer is like, listen, like, our case should be dismissed, but the district attorney is like, no, 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 we have a witness. And who else is that witness? Freaking Roy Harper, ladies and gentlemen, and I about damn lost my mind, because it's just, we haven't seen him in so long, and I miss Roy so much, and I'm so happy he's here. And I mean, obviously, when we saw him, he was being tortured, and that wasn't fun. But it was just, oh, it was icing on the cake with an already stellar episode so far. Anyway, after we found out Roy Harper was the witness, a police officer stole Laurel from her hospital room and said that he's taking her to Diaz, which immediately I was like, oh no, something's gonna happen, and something did happen. I didn't want anything to happen. We also got some insight into what Diggle's feeling at the moment, because Diggle was kind of questioning Oliver about why, because he's been fine for 2 months, the chips has been working and everything like that, why he hasn't given the mantle back to Diggle. And I think the fact that Oliver got the okay from William and Oliver's been back in the game, I don't know, he misses it. You can tell he misses it, and I think he loves to be the Green Arrow, and obviously Oliver Queen is the Green Arrow. I'm just wondering how they're going to, I don't know, because I don't want Diggle to be super upset over the fact that he's not going to end up being the Green Arrow. I mean, they could do a 180 and Diggle could be the Green Arrow, but I don't think they're going to do that. It's just, I'm sad for Diggle, because I could tell he really wants it, and Oliver's just, Oliver hasn't figured it out, the fact that he wants to stay the Green Arrow yet. But anyway, that's just a little thing that happened. Laurel was taken to Anatoly, actually. I thought she was going to be immediately put in front of Diaz, but she was put in front of Anatoly, who is working with Diaz. And man, Anatoly, it's just, I can't help but still like him, because we've seen him so much, but just, he just keeps going against Oliver, and I understand why he's doing it because of last season, but still, it was just, I hate it. Oh gosh, but we had one of the best moments, I think, of this season is whenever Speedy was like, where's my suit? And she was on the field with Oliver trying to get Roy back. And I was, in that moment, I was just like, this is Arrow. But she zip lines through and is crawling through the vents, and she sees Roy, and just the moment they reunite, and she immediately kisses him, which I love, because this couple has been not together for 2 years now. And the second they see each other, just the love comes back, and it's so awesome. But Thea tries to get Roy out, but there is a problem because a SWAT team has been called, and there's not enough time to do everything like that. So Oliver, which is one of my likes of the episode, this moment right here, takes an arrow, wraps it around Thea, and shoots her out. It was such an awesome moment, and I loved it. Anyway, right after that, we had our team, OTA, plus Thea and basically our team and the other team, find out that Diaz is the big bad of the season. I mean, not of the season, but the big bad, the mastermind behind everything. And Oliver has also told Dinah and Quentin that the police force has been corrupted massively, more than normal. So he asked Dinah and Quentin to work together in order to weed out that corruption, and Dinah agreed because she realizes that like Oliver said, the badge is important to you guys. You have to do what you have to do. And I love that she was okay, like she didn't like fight against it or anything like that. So I really like that. And the second thing, oh man, I'm just so upset about this, but I don't know what's gonna happen because she's just such a conflicting character. Laurel was put in front of Diaz, and we got some of Diaz fighting, which was awesome, but Laurel was put in front of Diaz, and she was kind of like, yeah, I stole your money, and Diaz was like, well, you can help repay me by working for me, and Laurel kind of did that evil smirk that she does, which I love, but I hate at the same time, and I was just like, oh, Laurel, like, there's so many people counting on you, please don't mess anything up. So I was a little questioning in that moment because but at the same time, the very text at the end, I was kind of, we'll get into that in a second. So Diaz got introduced to Roy and was basically threatening him, doing the big bad stuff, and Roy was kind of just like, there's no way in hell I'm testifying against Oliver Queen, duh. But Diaz was like, well, we could hurt you, but we could also hurt Thea, and threatening someone you love is kind of the best way to get a person to do something. So yeah, that happened. Oh man. Right after that conversation, Oliver came and gave some brotherly advice to Thea and was basically like, hey Thea, what would happen if you were to go with Roy whenever he leaves again? And I kind of just, I don't know, it's going to go into my theory that I'm going to relate a little bit later in this review, but I could see it happening. We had Laurel telling the gang, the team, and Dinah and Quentin, just in the apartment, that Diaz is planning this whole entire thing and everything like that, and where he's keeping Roy, and it's kind of like, oh, cool, obviously they weren't quite trusting, but still, so Diggle, Speedy, and Oliver, they go and rescue Roy, and some of that fighting scene, the fights that they did were so incredible, and Speedy was just, the second Speedy was rushed out in a hail of bullets, it was just bam, bam, awesome. And there was a standoff with Thea and Diaz, and they both were able to hold an arrow up, and Thea drove away with Roy, and Oliver was listening to Diaz, and Diaz was making good points. You can't really take him, you can't really do anything, so he let him go. Which sucks. We got Roy back, and that is the main point of everything, and Thea and Roy reunited, the whole entire team. It was like the good old days back in like season 2, right? Was it season 2 or season 3? I don't remember when. No, it was definitely season 3, I'm pretty sure. But that just, I love seeing that team together, and I don't know how many episodes we're gonna have Roy, because it doesn't seem like he's just gonna disappear next episode. It's gonna be like, okay, Thea and Roy have disappeared, they're gonna go off and like live in Hawaii or whatever. I have a feeling he's gonna be around for a little bit. But yeah, really, really awesome stuff. And at the end of the episode, I'm just so upset about it. Oliver went to go talk to Laurel to thank her for not setting them up, and as he was leaving, Laurel got a text and it said from Diaz, it said good job, and I'm so conflicted right now because I don't know if she's, I have a feeling that she is doing what Diaz wants her to do, but maybe with spending more time with Quentin and possibly the rest of the team, she will begin to realize, like, hey, you know, maybe I shouldn't be doing these things, and tell the team. I don't know. I don't want her to, I mean, I love when Katie Cassidy plays bad because she plays bad so well. But I just feel so bad for Lance. You could tell even when they did their reunion, like in the police place, the precinct, he had tears in his eyes. You could see he had tears in his eyes. It wasn't even his Laurel. It was really emotional. And, oh yeah, the final, like 5 seconds, Thea and Roy are about to get it on after 2 years. God bless to the both of them. When this chick who's wearing this mask brings it down, it was like, I found the heir of Ra's al Ghul, and I was like, what? What's that supposed to mean? But it was just such a, like, okay, cool, man. I don't know what this, I'm excited for next episode, but still. I'm gonna give my likes and then my dislikes and then any theories I may have. So here are the likes. This is the like portion. I mean, Laurel, Katie Cassidy in general just killed it this episode, and I am so just, I don't know what to feel about a character. I don't know if I should root for her or if I should not root for her. I really don't know, and I think that's what the writers are doing. They're kind of just making you unsure about where her loyalties lie at the moment. It's really good. The tripwire that Oliver took to get Thea out of that building, awesome. Seeing Diaz fight and seeing Diaz be the menacing person that he is was awesome, because he basically got a little bit of a spotlight shown on him this episode, being the big bad of the season, which I loved. There was this moment, what I mentioned earlier with Dinah, is that whenever Oliver was leaving the apartment to go get Roy, Dinah was kind of like, okay, I'll go with you, and Oliver's like, absolutely not. You know, we don't work together anymore. You know, you've made that perfectly clear. And I don't know if I was just imagining it, but the look on Dinah's face after Oliver left, it looked a little remorseful. But that could, I mean, I'm gonna watch that scene again because I could just be seeing things, but it just seemed in that moment that something changed. I could be very wrong, and it could be just the same amount of shit that we've been dealing with for the past couple episodes next episode. But still, there was a moment there I was like, that's very interesting. Another like of the episode was Speedy and Roy. Just everything involving them was amazing. And that ends my likes of the episode. My dislikes of the episode, I think my dislike of the episode, one, because this episode was phenomenal, really is not a dislike the more I think about it, but every single time Laurel calls Quentin daddy or father, at first I was like, stop, I just felt weird with her saying it, but I realized that she has to start saying that. She has to get used to calling people Ollie and like dad in front of people, because she is Laurel Lance, and she has to start acting like it because people are gonna think like something's up. I mean, already Dinah has like talked to people and was like, Dinah is basically running an investigation, you know, on Laurel, you know what I mean? And that's gonna bring more people and maybe doubting, you know, if that's really Laurel Lance. So I don't think I think I disliked it, but the more I thought about it, the more that made sense of why she's starting to do that. So I turned out to pretty much like it. And my theory is the whole Thea going with Roy, it could happen because Willa Holland has only, for the past 2 seasons, has only really been in like, I don't know, 15 episodes a season. So if they wanted to write her character out, if the actress wanted to go out, this is the perfect way to do it, because Thea going with Roy and them just being together, it gives you a nice end to her story. And anytime that you want to bring her back or Roy back for like 5, 6, I don't know, or maybe 1 episode, you could do that because they're alive and they're doing okay. I don't know. I mean, I don't want her to leave. Obviously, I don't want Roy to leave. But if they wanted to do that, they could. All I know is that I'm really excited for what's going to happen next with those two. And what's going to happen with Thea, with the heir of Ra's al Ghul or whatever. I pronounce his name differently every single time I say it, but you know. Okay everyone, thank you for watching, and if you want to see my previous reaction / review, all I have to do is click the link in the description, and as always, I will see you next time.